Henry Ortiz. I'm a 40-year veteran of law enforcement. I started out my career in a small town of Wilder, Idaho, where I pretty much worked in almost every division there was. It was a great time in my life. But things like that, and the good parts you remember, but the bad parts sometimes come into play. There was things that I didn't care for doing, but I did it because that was my job. I chased people out of there. We had a lot of problems with drugs, alcohol, prostitution, gambling, things like that. People would shoot at all night, firearms, everything. They even used firearms against me. Some of the stories that people don't understand, that once you have something like that put against you, you never forget it. First one I was shot at as a young police officer in Wilder. I kicked a drunk out of a bar, and he decided he'd come back and took a firearm and fired at me. And thank God he was so intoxicated he couldn't shoot straight. But I could hear the rounds hit the wall that I was standing next to. My partner that was with me, a reserve officer, kept saying, "Are those bullets?" And I said, "Yes, they are." This was in the 1970s, so we didn't wear body armor. You just lived on your instincts. I started losing sleep, started getting sick, flu-like symptoms. I was always hot. My doctor had told me that he had given me everything in the book, that enough medication to knock an elephant out. My wife right away said, "That's not you. I want you to keep going to this counselor because I want you back. Who you are right now is not you." My counselor was a female, and in the Hispanic culture, you don't do things like that. A man does not speak to a woman about personal things that happen to you. It's unheard of. You don't do it. It's just something that was equally as hard for me to do. And she told me that, yeah, you have symptoms of PTSD. Yours are, he says, you are similar to combat veterans that I have spoken to, except your war is different. I had reoccurring terrifying nightmares that I had. I was being shot at. I saw myself die. I'd wake up screaming, and I had her there. She would always put her hand on me and tell me, "It's okay. I'm here." Go back to sleep, honey, please. Depending on who it is, I don't care if it's a firefighter, a paramedic, police officer, trooper. We all have seen it. We've all done it. For me, I was lucky. I had my wife, Linda.